Ask a farmer how he produces a successful crop. And he will tell you that, of course, the seed has to be good, seasons have to be good, not too much rain, not too little rain, decent amount of sunshine. But he will also tell you something else. And what he will tell you is that the ground needs to be prepared. And that is a key. A very important part of that process to produce a good, beautiful, wonderful, successful crop. In the same light, it is a fundamental part of the process of receiving this knowledge that we be prepared. Why do we need preparation? If fundamentally what we are looking for is within inside of us, the thirst is within inside of us, then why do we need to be prepared? Well, things have happened. Yes, the thirst has always been there, but we have done a marvelous job of covering it up. And because we have covered it up, it needs to be rediscovered. Yes, the understanding once was there that joy and happiness were the most important part of this existence. And then other things have crept along and they have taken quite a bit of the priority. So then the preparation really becomes this fundamental process of rediscovery. To rediscover the thirst, to re-understand the priorities. And of course, we do so much to understand the responsibility on the outside. But now we're going to also need to understand the responsibilities of the inside, the responsibilities of this heart, the responsibilities that are so innate and fundamental for this existence. To help you prepare for this gift of knowledge, I have produced some keys, and I call them keys. And each one of them, of course, is a key point in your preparation. There are altogether 6 keys, 5 of which are to prepare you, and the 6th key is the gift of knowledge. Now, I would like for you to feel comfortable with what the process is going to be. I would like you to feel that it isn't something that you have to rush out and do. I would like you to feel that this is something, one, that of course you can do it. A lot of people, they have this hesitation, well, will I be able to do it? Look, there's no test. This isn't about your ability. If breath comes into you, you're good to go. If that joy comes into you, yes, you can have knowledge. If you have a heart, which you do, yes, you can understand what knowledge is all about. You can feel the joy. It's very simple, it's very fundamental. And there are some guidelines, some rules, some very specific things that you need to do in a specific way to maximize the benefit of these keys for you. First of all, I don't want you to watch the keys or its supporting material for more than 2 hours a day. Some people might say that they have more time. That's fine, but don't watch it more than 2 hours a day. 1 hour is just fine. Because I want you to take it in. I want you to understand. I want you to contemplate what you have heard. When you go through this process of the keys, there is a lot of information. And some of the information is subtle, some of the information is very strong. But I want you to absorb it. I want you to think about it. I want you to contemplate it. Not just say, well, I'm trying to fulfill this requirement of certain hours. Well, there isn't. This is self-paced. But I don't want you to spend more than 2 hours on this. Do not skip or jump. Don't get into the mode of curiosity. I wonder what the third key talks about. I wonder what the fourth key talks about. Just let it go through the process that it takes you. I know that even though these keys are pre-made, I know that each one of you will go through your own little journey. And it will be unique. Why? Because you are unique. So don't go skipping around or jumping around. Just go with the flow that has been created. And I had something very specific in mind as I put together the order of these keys. The other important thing is consistency. Be consistent. If for some reason you stopped, then you should really start all over again. But if you're consistent with it, whatever the time that you want to give, just be consistent with it. Because then you will derive the maximum benefit. Always in the journey that is to this heart, always in the journey towards self-discovery, it has to be one step at a time. You cannot take 3 steps. You cannot take 4 steps. No, one step at a time. And always learning to evolve, learning to grow, because all of this material needs to promote understanding. There's a beautiful saying that it doesn't matter how many times the gardener waters the plant. It's only when the season comes will the flower bloom. And that is so true. It's not a question of, well, let me just get with this and I'll spend 4 hours, 5 hours a day listening to this. No, that's not going to help. You need to evolve. You need to grow. You need to understand. These are the seasons. Understanding is a season. That feeling is a season. And that needs to come. It will come. It will come. But you need to have patience and trust in yourself that you are capable of learning, that you are capable of evolving, and you are capable of growing. And this is what we all need to do every single day. My God, if this is possible for us to learn, to evolve, and to grow every single day, and if you could make that a habit, how beautiful that would be. Come from a simple place, not a complicated place. What is this and this and that? No, this is about your heart. This is something very personal to you. This is the path. This is the way of knowledge. Something very, very personal. Something just for you. And for that, you have to come from a very simple, very, very simple place. Contemplate what you have learned. Give it that time. Don't be in a rush. Well, I don't understand what I have just understood, but here I go. No, really take the time to understand. Feel good at every step of the way. Feel good. At every step of the way, let this heart be the judge. And if you can do that, your learning, your whole experience, and this time that you will spend preparing yourself will be a wonderful one, will be a very joyous one. If in case you need to review any points, you can go back and review them. If you need some clarification, you can review them. Always feel welcome to review whatever you have learned. Feel free to review it. Move forward when you're ready to. Don't be in a hurry, don't be in a push, don't look at your watch, but feel your heart this time. Feel what it says. Knowledge is not the destination. It's the journey. It is the journey. It's not like once you receive knowledge, that is it. No. We want all these things that we are now picking up to exist for us forever. This is indeed a plan for a lifetime. And hopefully, this is what we are learning. Learn for this existence. Learn for this heart. Learn for this understanding. And always, if you want to really understand something, then simplicity is the key. Simplicity is the key to understanding. There is nothing in this world that brings our attention towards our own existence. There is nothing that says, within you is the possibility to be fulfilled. When we feel thirsty and need water, there is no debate. Why? Because I know. Not because I believe or because I think it's true, but I know. And that's the difference between all other knowledges and knowing yourself. Knowing the value of every breath. It is in the realm of experience, not belief. To know. It is not based on fiction. It is based in the most fundamental reality of a human being. Do you know what your fundamental reality is? What is your true personality? Who are you? When you start to talk about thirst, people think, all I need to do is to turn on the faucet and my thirst will be quenched. But what is missing in the process is actually filling the glass with water and drinking until the thirst is quenched. That's the fundamental reality we need to feel. Peace also needs to be felt. Love needs to be felt. Truth needs to be felt. Joy needs to be felt. Feeling is your most fundamental reality. You are a feeling machine. The question is, what have you been putting in front of this feeling machine? Place doubt in front of it, and it feels doubt. Place anger in front of it, and it feels anger. Place confusion in front of it, it feels confusion. Place love in front of it, and it feels love. Place peace in front of it, and it feels peace. And when people don't feel these things, They want to fix the feeling machine. And for so many centuries, a voice has been calling out, what you are looking for is within you. Your truth is within you. Your peace is within you. Your joy is within you. The desire to feel those things is what I call the thirst. You have a thirst to feel joy. You have been given anger, but also a thirst to feel tranquility. You have ignorance, but also a thirst to feel clarity. So change what you place in front of the feeling machine. Trade doubt for clarity, and you will feel clarity. Because feeling is what you must do. Who is willing to say to themselves, for as long as I have been alive, and for as long as I will be alive, the thirst to feel the clarity and the joy have been within me and will always be there. What we create very much on the shore of an incredible ocean. This ocean is the great equalizer. We stand at the threshold, and that's where we build our castles. And when we are not looking, tide comes and takes them down, and they're gone. Then it puts the sand back the way it was, as if nobody had been there. We feel very proud of all the things we do. We have no idea that this great equalizer has been working much longer than we ever could. The power that we are up against is unbelievable. And that same power has done us an incredible favor. It has given us a little lease and said, go, enjoy yourself, be. I'll come and claim it all back. But till I do, it's all yours. Till I do, fill your heart. And I'll be back to claim what is mine. I will not be able to claim what is not mine, but I'll claim what is mine. So if this heart remains empty, when the great equalizer comes and claims us, we have nothing to keep. Yet, if this heart is filled with the joy, if this heart is filled with clarity, if this heart is filled when the great equalizer comes, we can keep what is ours. And what we want to feel is not just any joy. A momentary joy will not do. It will not find its way to the bowl of our heart. There are rules. The joy that is born in recognition of this existence, that joy we get to keep. The joy that is born in gratitude, that joy we get to keep. Not just now, but forever and ever. The laws for this do not change. As this world goes round and round, as it has for such an extremely long time, we find ourselves on the surface of this earth. Another little drama has begun. Another little actor has come and entered the stage with a script. What is your script? What role are you supposed to play? The whole world wants to tell you what your script should be. Your mother wants to tell you, your father wants to tell you, everybody wants to tell you. And then there is your heart that also wants to tell you what your script should be. Will you listen? Can you listen? From where you are in your life, can you afford not to listen to your heart? In your heart, you know what is important, the thirst you have. But instead of trying to quench it, you try to forget it. How can that be? How can I forget what is important to me? How can I forget that this is my time? This is your time too. And in this time, if you can, remember the one thing that is, by nature, the most beautiful, the most profound, the most peaceful, the most joyful, the bringer of joy. And you are the machine that loves joy. Embrace with great enthusiasm this fundamental want that you have. Because the living should revel in the fact that there is life. The living should rejoice in the fact that here comes a breath, here comes a joy, here comes life. Some people say, "Oh, I'm just a speck of dust in this big universe." But oh, what a speck of dust. A speck of dust in which the fusion of the infinite and the finite takes place. The threshold of the two. The incredibly mortal being is driven as close as it is possible to the immortal. And the same power that drives the universe comes into you. You have been chosen to be this platform. This is the sovereign reality of every human being on the face of this earth. Supreme reality. And when you feel that feeling, then that's it. That's it. You know. When you know, then you are fulfilled. When you know you are fulfilled, you know you have peace. Then and only then is your fundamental reality fulfilled. This is our time. I'm alive, you are alive. This should mean something. That's the fundamental difference with this message. There is something real and it's called knowledge. A way to access this joy we seek. And it is not just a lot of words. Otherwise, these would be good words, but just words. They wouldn't mean anything, but there is the possibility of knowledge. And that's what makes it real. That's what gives it validity. Learn about life. Learn about yourself. Learn about things you never imagined you could learn, that you never even thought existed. That is the possibility.
I have a very busy life, at least it feels very busy. I have 2 teenage daughters. I'm constantly on the run. And knowledge is the one thing that puts me in touch with just me, Becky, just my heart, myself. And for me, it's like being loved unconditionally. Like everything else on the outside almost always seems conditioned. The kids will love you one minute, they'll hate you the next. Your husband loves you one minute, he hates you the next. Everything out there is like that. But when you sit down and you experience knowledge, it's just being loved. And I think there's a world of difference between that experience and what's happening on the outside. When I first heard about knowledge and I met Maharaji, he was like a teacher. Like I could only describe him as a teacher. Like he opened something inside of me, a whole new way of seeing things. He's probably been the greatest teacher I've ever had. And the only thing that's changed now, he is still my greatest teacher. I can just say over time, I've grown so attached to wanting to hear him. It's probably the most important thing in my life, is listening to him and his message, because it keeps me in touch with me and what's really important. And nobody else does that. I remember once somebody asked Maharaji, why do people follow you around? And he said, people do not follow me, they follow their heart. And for me, he couldn't have answered it any better than that. Like when I need to go see him, it's not because I'm needing to follow this man, it's because my heart is longing for that experience of joy and happiness, and he brings that, he reminds me. And I need to be reminded all the time.
When I was 10 years old, from that time, maybe earlier than that time, I was looking for these things into the poetry. I was reading Mawlavi or Rumi, you call it Rumi, Hafiz and Omar Khayyam's poetry. And I have faced those aspects, those issues or matters, but nobody could be there, a kind of live person to come to me and say, what does those things mean really? And one of the things I enjoy about Maharaji is that he's alive and he's talking to me about those things, and he opened up the windows through that garden. I had an image of that garden, that people were talking about that, but I could not have a way through that.
Because I was inquisitive. I was asking pastors, prophets, but what all of them were saying that if you die, then, and you do good things on this earth, you're going to heaven. But that very day, Maharaji let me know that the heaven that I'm looking for is inside me. And I said, wow, what a message. If the heaven that I'm looking for is in me, then I have to find how I can manage to go inside me to know that, to go to that heaven.
Before I received knowledge, my life seemed to be pretty balanced. I had it pretty well together. I was a minister, and I had a sense of who I am and what I was supposed to do with my life. The more I began to listen to Maharaji, the more I began to realize that something was missing in my life. I didn't know I was searching. The more I experienced my own life and listened to Maharaji, the more I began to realize that there was something missing. And what was missing is that there was a lot happening around me, but I wasn't really experiencing it. And the more I began to listen, it's not even when I began to listen, it's when I received knowledge. After I received knowledge, I began to enjoy everything around me. Even though I considered myself to be pretty happy before, but now I was experiencing something called joy. And I could carry it with me at all times. Even in the middle of total chaos, there is something special about just being there. When I first heard Maharaji, there was something that was being said that I had not heard before. But it was so simple and sweet, I didn't know what to expect. I began to realize that what was being said felt very, very special to me. It began to open me up. I began to become not curious, but just enjoy listening. And basically, I guess that's the story of my life, listening. I've been searching for a very long time to hear someone just speak simple truth. And when I heard Maharaji, that's what I heard.
What would you say is the essence of the message that you're bringing to people?
Well, the essence of the message is that what you are looking for is within you, that the peace that you want, that the fulfillment that you want, and the different definitions of success that people have, and all of those things put together, that is the name of the same thing, whether you're looking for truth or whether you're looking for this or you're looking for that. But what you're really looking for, that inner satisfaction, and that inner satisfaction is within you, and always has been and always will be there.
Would you say then that self-discovery is a luxury that a person can afford only after they've secured all of life's basic necessities?
Well, that certainly would not be my observation. I have seen people who are, from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, and it doesn't really matter what you are doing on the outside, but you can always have that inner peace, regardless of where you are in the ladder of success. And I have seen people who are very poor, and I've seen people who are very rich. I have seen people who have retired. I've seen people who are successful. I've seen people who are just starting out. But each one of them has a potential to be fulfilled, and it really doesn't matter. You don't have to wait till you have taken care of all those necessities, because, in a way, you will never end up taking care of those necessities.
Yeah.
There will always be a new necessity and a new necessity and a different kind of necessity. So to feel the inner contentment whenever you can, that is the best avenue to take.
Most people lead very busy lives, so does finding this inner peace and beauty take a lot of time and a special environment?
No, it neither takes a special environment, nor does it take a lot of time. What it takes is a lot of understanding and learning, and that's very enjoyable. And anybody, regardless of how busy they are, they can do that. Because understanding does not require that you have to pause everything, and understanding doesn't require a special room. Understanding that light bulb going on can happen anywhere, and regardless of what you are doing. And this is really understanding about yourself, what you have been given, and feeling that beauty inside of you, and feeling that joy, and feeling that peace inside of you. This is what this is all about.
Okay. So, thanks very much for your time once again. I know you're a very busy man, and I really feel a lot better, actually, because I had a very hectic drive to get here to speak to you, and it's really been nice just chatting with you today. So, once again, thanks a lot.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you very much.
Serenity, come as simplistic as you are. Come, sincerity, come, willingness, come with a maskless face of your love. Come, vulnerability, come, courageous one, come, as radiant as you are. me now. Leave our past behind. Come, my love, my love, my love. Come, my love, my love, my love. Come, clarity, with your nakedness in sight. Come exactly as you are. Come, humility, ground me in your grace. Come with the maskless face of your love. Come to me now. Leave our past behind. Come, my love, my love, my love. Come, my love, my love. Come, my love, my love, my love.
Maharaji, I'm quite happy in my life. Do I still need knowledge, or is it just for people who are discontent?
So many of us think that we are happy. We are happy not because of the fundamental happiness that we feel, but we think we are happy because we have fulfilled a formula. This very much goes back to that thing that we have the thirst. We have understood that there is something we need in our lives, but being too busy just covering it up because we don't know what it is. So we don't know what it is, so we give it definitions. We say, if I have this, and if I have this, and if I have this, then I must be happy. So a lot of people in this world go, well, no, I really feel quite happy. Well, is that happiness coming from inside of you? Is that happiness coming from a place that has always, 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 always wanted that feeling? Or is it you go and look at your picture and you look at your surroundings and you look at your little formulas and you go, you know what? I think I'm very happy. Well, that's great if you're happy. Go on, enjoy yourself if you're really happy. But if that happiness is dependent upon outside elements, I can almost guarantee you that one day you're going to have a very shocking awakening. Because when those elements change, and they will, They simply will change because that is their nature. And when those elements change, the house is going to come tumbling down. But when that happiness is based on the very foundation of us, when the whole happiness, the joy, when the whole feeling is based upon an inner foundation, then come what may our way, we know that even in the middle of the most severest storm, we have the possibility of being content. And so, of course, it is everyone who has to make that choice. It's not a question of saying, am I happy? Because happiness for so many people means so many different things. It may be that a person is looking for a promotion in his job and finally he gets this promotion and he's, well, I'm happy. Well, is this it? Or are you going to want another promotion? And just think of the dynamics you will have to go through. Because right now you're happy because you got the promotion you were looking for. And as days are going to roll by, as the days are going to go by, months and years are going to go by, you're going to say, I should be promoted again. And all that joy is going to turn right back into this anguishing want, desire, I need another promotion. And then, you better get one, because if you didn't get it, that is going to, again, bring that house just tumbling down. But coming from inside, that is so important, because that is the true strength, the real foundation. If the foundation is strong, then the earthquakes can be sustained. But if the foundation isn't strong, it doesn't matter how strong the house is. It's not going to work. And I am talking about very fundamental things here.
How do I know if it's my mind or my heart that wants knowledge?
When we begin to feel things in our life, maybe, we say, I don't know what this feeling is, or I don't know where this feeling is coming from. Mind is inquisitive by nature, and it is very curious. The heart, on the other hand, has no curiosity. The heart wants to know. It wants to know, and wants to know in a purposeful way. So the basic simplicity is ask your heart. Ask your heart, where are you coming from? Because if you can ask your heart where you are coming from, then that'll make it very, very clear. If it is just your curiosity, because if you're coming from a curiosity, all that means is that you want to see what it is, and then after that, you drop it, you let it go. But if you're coming from that simple place of your heart, if you're coming from a sincere place, then you want to know, you want to learn, you want to grow. And if you want to grow, if you want to learn, if you want this to be a part of your existence, as it already is, because this is what discovery is all about, then make that effort, then understand that, and you will have the clear distinction between those things, those curiosities and sincerity. Because sometimes we cannot ourselves make that distinction. And unless we have that distinction in our lives, it's going to be very difficult what to pursue in this life and what not to pursue in this life.
Maharaji, how can I feel content or fulfilled when there are so many problems in this world?
One of the most fundamental things that we need to understand is that the contentment that we want to feel in our lives is within us, and it is not on the outside. And so many formulas have come about in this world, and we look at everything as formulas. This is this, this is this, this is this. If I can be like that person, maybe I'll be happy. If I can be like that other guy, I'll have, I think, what he has. And we are speculating and we are thinking that these are the formulas. If I could have this and this and this and this, then I must be happy. But happiness has nothing to do with that. Happiness is a very fundamental thing. You already have all the happiness you will ever feel in your life. You already have that inside of you. But you haven't tapped into that. And the day you tap into that, then that's real happiness will come. And it won't be dependent upon all the things that are happening on the outside. Because this is the problem with that happiness that is dependent on the outside. When the outside changes, so does the happiness change. And all of a sudden, people find themselves going, what happened to my happiness? I was, you hear these tales. My God, it's like, there I was, and everything was great, and I was happy. And then one day, ta-da, happened, and my whole world was destroyed. Everyone really needs to take a look at that. Because a breath comes into you, and you are alive. This is your world. This is truly your world. The day that that breath will not come into you anymore, that is the day your world truly will be destroyed. We need to understand that till we are alive, the possibilities always exist. That there is a strength inside of us that we need to get in touch with. That there is a feeling inside of us that we need to get in touch with. And if we can do that, then whatever happens on the outside, we can always find that contentment on the inside. And that is important, to have that contentment on the inside.
Raji, if this experience is within me, why don't I know it?
Well, the thing is that we have the inclination that we have something inside of us that is incredibly precious. We feel that what we are looking for is very much inside of us. But there's so much that has been put on top of this feeling. Because when we don't understand something, we either tend to ignore it or we cover it up. We don't think that we can live with this ambiguity. We can't live in a vacuum. So when something comes along in our life that we don't understand, we let go of it. And this is the same thing that happens with this feeling inside of us. We know that there is something very beautiful inside of us. But what we do is when we don't understand it or we don't have a means of fulfilling this feeling, we go ahead and ignore it and get on with other things. And those other things start taking priority in our life. And other things become more important in our life. But now comes a time that perhaps we have this possibility to be able to go inside and experience it again. And this is so much the process of discovery, because we are rediscovering. To me, this is not creating a new experience. This is not about creating new elements. This is not about bringing new elements into our life. This is about rediscovering what we have, because we have incredible strength and we have an incredible potential. And not only that, we have an incredible peace inside of us. Sometimes we search for that peace here and there. Sometimes we look for it on top of the mountain. Sometimes we look for it in the caves. But we don't need to go there. It's here. It's within inside of us. And if we can rediscover, and this is so much the preparation that needs to happen, because it is a question of rediscovering. And if we can rediscover, then we can find that within inside of us. And at the end of the day, we will be the ones that will benefit from it.
Maharaji, can I get the same experience through other means?
That's assuming that those things that we are saying, all the different ideas about what it is, and the assumption becomes that all those other means, quote unquote means, are going to take me to the same place. And that is a lot of assumption. What knowledge does, knowledge does. And you cannot compare it. Will it bring you to the same place? Other means will bring you to the same place? It is impossible to answer. The only thing you can say is knowledge brings you the experience that is within you, without assuming what that experience is. Because if you've got a formula of what peace is, then you better go and pursue that formula, because that's the only thing that's going to bring you that peace. Whatever knowledge brings you, it is already within inside of you. Does it need a label? Of course it doesn't need a label. Does it need assumptions? Of course it doesn't need assumptions. Is this because we all sit down and collectively think that we are all experiencing peace now? Of course not. This is a very individual journey, and this is a very individual experience. And it has to be just that. Just that. no assumptions. And if you feel that knowledge brings you to the same place as other means, then by all means, go try the other means. And if you feel that you don't feel that feeling, then I don't know what you're assuming at that point, but knowledge brings you what it brings you. And that's it. That's it. You have to trust it, you have to trust yourself, and you have to understand it.